What is what is going on YouTube? Today we'll be doing spooky, scary Saturday. Okay, let's go. Now listen, you guys clearly liked the last video. We're gonna keep on doing it for the culture. You know what I'm saying? Now listen. Hope this video, that video got to 200 views, 300 views, something like that. Okay? Now, let's get this video to 500. Let's go. And without further ado, on to the first video.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to
And for the first video, we have True Camping Stories animated by Llama Arts. Let's go.
So me and a couple of my buddies went camping last summer alongside the Willamette River. We actually had a decent hike into the deep end of woods.
Already starting off. Look at brother's chin. He got a lemon chin. You know the little lemon? Dracula's wife.
We did some night fishing, listening to music, and basically drank to the point where everything was funny later in the night. I would guess we finally called it a night somewhere past 2 a.m. I shared a tent with one of my buds while the other two shared another tent. We heard them laughing about something. At first we laughed at the sound of their laughing, but it soon got annoying and we yelled for them to shut up. One of them responded, "It isn't us." I sat up, startled at the response. I came to realize that it was the sound of only one person laughing, and it didn't sound like either one of my friends. Even in my drunk state, I realized how odd it was for somebody to be out this far in the woods so late at night. The laughing gradually got closer and louder to our campout. My friend shot up and looked at me with a worried look on his face. I heard my other friends scream over to us that they were getting freaked out. As the laughing got even closer, I could make it out very clearly to be the laugh of a male, probably in his 30s or 40s. He sounded like he was as drunk as us, messing around with friends, but we only heard his laugh, nobody else. There was something indescribably creepy about his laugh too, as if it was missing something to it. You had to be there to understand what I mean. The laughing was now just at the edge of our campsite, but we couldn't hear any footsteps at all. Now that may not seem like a big deal. It was impossible to move through that without making noise. And finally, all of a sudden, the laughing stopped completely. We had no idea where whoever that was standing, as he hadn't made a single stepping sound. We sat there in silence looking at each other. My friend was clearly freaking out, but he was keeping it together the best he could. Finally, something broke the silence. The sound of something rubbing against the cottony fabric of the tent. We saw the outline of a hand through the moonlight, pressing on the tent. We both screamed at the top of our lungs before getting out of the tent. We ran as fast as we could through the woods. Our other friend...
Why are they running like that?
...was following us. After about 5 minutes of running, we somehow found our car. I actually puked from running so much before taking the wheel. I don't condone drinking and driving, but I still believe we were just in this situation. By far the most horrific experience of my life. No idea who or what the hell that was, or what they wanted.
Wow. Wow.
Whoa. What's that?
Wow.
I just built a budgeting app and
Wow. That was crazy. Hey, like, see that happen to me? What? Belt. Straight belt. Oh, sorry. Spelling, you guys. Well, without further ado, on to the next video. Alright. So this next video is called A Disturbing True Snapchat Story 2 Animated by Mama Arts. Let's go.
This is a short but terrifying story of something that happened when I was Snapchatting a friend. I'm pretty young, I'm only 13, still in middle school. A girl I really liked had just recently started snapping me selfie pictures, and we started messaging.
What is this burger? That's not a burger, this is a booger. This is a booger. What the freak? That look like just straight trash. Trash. Trash.
Each other for a few nights. One night when I was watching TV, she sent me a snap of herself laying in her bed without a caption. I sent a message saying what's up. She sent another identical picture, this time with a caption saying not much, you? She set the timer to 10 seconds, so it gave me plenty of time to analyze the picture, including her bedroom in the background, and the dark outline of a person standing by her window. I quickly sent a response message saying, "Is that your brother by the window?" She sent
Babe? Oh, babe? Already?
another identical snap, this time captioned, "What do you mean?" In this picture, the figure at the window was closer, and I could see a hand pressed up against the glass. I closed the snap before the timer even ran out so I could tell her quicker. I said, "There's somebody at your window, turn around." She opened my snap almost immediately, and then I didn't hear from her again on the app. I grew more and more worried as the minutes passed. I texted her a few times to no avail. I tried calling her a few times to no avail as well. I didn't know her house phone number, otherwise I would have called her parents. It wasn't until midnight when I was already laying in bed that she finally texted me back. She explained the whole situation. As soon as she looked at her window and saw the person standing there, she screamed, and that caused the person, who turned out to be a 20-something-year-old man, to open the window and jump into the room. From there, she ran to her parents' room and woke her dad, who went to her room to find nothing but an open window. It wasn't exactly a personal story of mine, but it freaks me out nonetheless, knowing that the only thing that saved my friend from whatever could have happened was the fact that I was able to see the window through her selfies, unbeknownst to the creeper at her window.
Wow. That's why you don't use Snapchat, kids. That's why you don't use Snapchat.
Keep your head out of the clouds.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the final short film for today is 4 True OnlyFans horror stories. We're only gonna do one of them. So let's go.
I was in my early 20s and was unfortunately unemployed. The stress of not having a job while living with the obligation of having student loans, in addition to the monthly payments for my student housing, always weighed heavy on my shoulders. I was a student majoring within the medical field.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
So it was always inevitable that the majority of my time was delegated to schoolwork and applying for jobs online, as I was living off the funds I made from my last retail job. The quality of my life at this time was both extremely stressful and depressing, as I would literally live off eating crackers and cheap instant noodle packs.
Shoot, ain't nothing wrong with noodles. Them boodles. Nothing wrong with some boodles.
I would even go as far as to sleep hungry sometimes.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
Times, just to save every last dollar possible to help pay for my rent and school funds. I remember staying up late one night, as I had a biology exam coming up within a few days. I could recall being overwhelmed from the monotonous material I was drilling into my head, when I heard a loud knock on my door. Sarah? Sarah, can you answer the door? It's Charlie. Hello? I know you're in there. I heard you watching TV 5 minutes ago.
Yes? What do you want, Charlie?
I need to talk to you. Can you please answer the door? Hey, Sarah. You know your rent is due, right?
I'll get it to you by tomorrow. I've just been a little flustered with school.
Don't worry. You can give it to me tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Charlie. You're a lifesaver.
To make it easier on you, I do take other forms of payment, you know.
I'm good. I'll just pay you tomorrow.
What's wrong, Sarah? I'm just trying to help a pretty little girl like you out. Don't you want my help? Don't worry. It'll only take 5 minutes tops. We'll act like nothing ever happened. Imagine not having to worry of paying a single bill again, Sarah, for just a measly 5 minutes of your time. Did I ever tell you that you look just as beautiful as my daughter?
I said I'm good.
You better pay me tomorrow, you little brat, or else you could get the hell out of my property. I've always had unsettling vibes from my landlord the day I moved in here, but unfortunately couldn't really do much, as the housing market for students around the area were either occupied or way over my budget. As busy as I was with school, I was always a social butterfly at heart, and had a pretty decent following on my social media. I unfortunately didn't make any money online, but I did have about a couple hundred fans in my DMs and comment section, asking if I had an OnlyFans. I, of course, didn't own one, as I was always hesitant in encountering weirdos within the online world. I really didn't want to run into the risk of being recognized by any school colleagues or relatives for that matter, considering the internet was a large place where anything could be shared or screen recorded nowadays. At the time that this occurred, I was extremely eager to make any form of income without having to deal with the hassle of working a regular job, which is why I ultimately decided to sign up for an OnlyFans account. I decided to take a couple of provocative selfies of myself while wearing some outfits that I thought would be appealing to the rather large male audience I had accumulated through my years on social media. I even went as far to take self-portraits of myself in bed, using a professional camera I had owned from a while ago. I remember uploading the catalog of images on my profile while promoting it on my Instagram story, just to see if there was going to be any first-time buyers willing to see the other side of me. I made sure to hide the stories from my close relatives, especially my mother, as I didn't want them knowing I wanted to explore the mature side of myself, and that I wasn't solely depending on making a living using OnlyFans. I can recall it not even being 5 minutes yet, when I noticed a notification on OnlyFans. I then refreshed my homepage, only to see that I got my first paid subscriber. If I had to be honest, I was quite thrilled at the notion that anyone would be interested in me, or should I say my looks. I remember the user then sending a message saying, "Hey beautiful, happy..."
Pervy Sage? Pervy Sage? Jiraiya!
To be your first OnlyFans sub. I typed.
Thank you. Let me know if you'd like to see more.
The user then playfully requested for several provocative pictures of myself wearing lingerie. I felt a little uncomfortable hearing such a request, but I knew in the back of my head that this was going to take some getting used to, especially if I wanted to pursue a potential career on OnlyFans. Regardless of who this person was, I decided to take the requested pictures in front of a mirror using my cell phone.
Really, dude? Really?
Come on in.
Alright, Chad, I'm so sorry. I can't afford YouTube Premium.
I then uploaded the images onto my laptop and charged the man a lump sum of $50 per photo. The man then responded, "I want to be your one and only customer forever." I obviously found this a bit alarming, but casually brushed it off by telling the user I was going to go study and that I was going to catch him later. I then made my way to the kitchen to make some instant noodles, while resuming the dreadful exam preparation I had procrastinated on since the beginning of the day. I remember studying for at least a good 2 hours straight before calling it a night. I then headed back to my bedroom, only to notice my laptop was still open, and wanted to see if there was any further activity with my OnlyFans account. That's when I saw at least 100 unread messages coming from the same user that I had interacted with earlier. The messages varied from things like, "Where are you?" to, "Hello? I've been waiting for you for hours now," to really aggressive messages like, "Answer me, ho." This left me completely dumbfounded, as the user then seemed apologetic towards the end of the messages, as if he suffered from bipolar disorder. I honestly contemplated on blocking this guy, but as I scrolled through the messages, I noticed one of them offering to pay me $100 if I sent a video of myself crying on camera. I couldn't tell if this guy was joking or if it was some sort of sick f*** of his, but I decided to oblige as I really needed the money. I began to screen record a video of myself using my webcam and began to force myself to cry by thinking of sad things like the death of my grandmother or the divorce of my parents, and how my dad left my mom hanging to be a deadbeat dad. I eventually stopped the filming and sent the video to the user for a price tag of $100. About 5 seconds later, the user immediately sends another odd request, as if he disregarded my last video and was craving for more. The message read, "Can you stick your finger down your throat and vomit in a bucket? I'll pay you."
What? What? Who does that? Really, dude? Really?
Another $100.
What the hell? What a freaking weirdo.
This seemed extremely off-putting, but I felt as if I was obliged to do so, considering I was an extremely broke student and needed any kind of funds I could get my hands on. I decided to grab a large bowl from my kitchen cabinet while contemplating my conscious decision to do such a thing. As I sat in front of my laptop, I held the bowl with one hand and stuck my index finger down my throat with the other, while simultaneously trying to regurgitate the instant noodles I had just eaten. I then sent the user the video with a price tag of $100. Again, the user instantly replies in a matter of seconds with another odd request. His message read, "Cut a handful of your hair off using a knife, and I'll pay you $200. I felt pretty hesitant at first, but as I digested the odd request, I thought it would be an easy $200, considering how I always wanted to get a haircut anyway. I responded with a stern, "Sure, BRB," as I went into the kitchen to grab a knife from one of the kitchen drawers. As I stared into the reflection of the blade, I began second-guessing myself, as the thought of sadistically tearing my hair off with a blade seemed very inhumane. I unfortunately allowed my stupidity to completely overcloud my judgment, as I ended up biting on a piece of cloth while raising my hair with one hand and then slowly cutting it off with the knife on my other hand. I remember trying my best not to make too much noise from my repugnant decisions, as the sheer distress from the back and forth carving of my hair left my scalp throbbing in an excruciating manner. I then shouted,
There's your stupid video, you sick freak! You happy now? Huh? Huh?
as I gestured a hand of my detached hair. That's when the user immediately responds with another sadistic request, saying, "Now, cut your finger off for another $200.
What?
I immediately dismissed the user using profanities and vulgar language, basically telling him to go F himself, as I simultaneously block his account. I then went into the washroom and began to sit in the bathtub to reflect on my bizarre decisions and what possessed me to do such a thing. I could then hear my phone vibrating on the bathroom sink several times from the notifications set on my phone. As I got out of the shower, I checked my phone, only to see the notifications were from a user with the same profile name on Instagram. I could tell that the user was obviously a stalker, as he had no followers, but was following at least a couple hundred others. I then opened the user's messages, only to see screenshots and video footage of what transpired within our OnlyFans interaction. As I scrolled up, I noticed a lengthy message from the user asking me to bring a knife to an undisclosed location if I didn't want him to send this to anyone else, almost like I was getting taunted and blackmailed at the same time. I ended up accepting the user's messages and replying with a firm,
I'm gonna sue you if you don't delete those images and videos.
He then responds with an image of my mother's Instagram and says, "Is this your mom's Instagram?" I then reply with,
What the f***? Don't do it! I'm begging you!
"Go to the park now."
Okay, fine, you win. I'm leaving right now, you freak!
That's when I tucked the knife underneath the band of my legging.
Hey. Sing, 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 sing.
And began to walk towards the park. I then text the user for further instructions as I surveyed.
She's already cooked. She's cooked. She's cooked. She's cooked. You are by yourself. You're cooked. Brewski, you are cooked, Brewski.
My surroundings of the park, only to see a homeless-looking individual laying on a bench. That's when I get another text from the user saying, "Since you didn't want to cut your finger off, cut his, and I'll leave you alone." I then pulled out the knife and began to approach the homeless man, as I could see he was completely passed out drunk from the empty alcohol bottle laying next to the bench he was sleeping on. As I cautiously approached the man, I began to elevate his pinky in midair with one hand while raising the knife with my other hand. I then swung the knife in one quick motion. That's when I ran back towards the main road as the man screamed.
Why is she walking like that? What the heck?
Screamed in agony. I eventually made it back to my place and began panting in distress and exhaustion without making it obvious to the other individuals in the household that I had initially stepped out. I then abruptly got a call on my cell phone. I was a little hesitant to answer the phone, considering I had not given out any personal information to the user. As I pull out my phone, I can see that the call was surprisingly coming from my mom. I answered the phone and said,
Hello?
What the hell is wrong with you, Sarah? Why would you do that? Why? Have you freaking lost your damn mind? You're all over the damn internet!
You.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sarah. Really, Sarah? Well, YouTube. It's been nice. It's been good. It's been great. Without further ado, I'm gonna catch y'all boys next time. Green watermelon.